So today we're doing an install of side skirts on a Toyota Camry TRD. Our side skirts by FS Performance Engineering are press bent the entire way to accommodate for the curves of the car. Now it's not a hard install, but it does take a minute. You do need to hold these right up to the bottom side of the rocker panel. This is what I'm calling the rocker panel. It's this black piece right here. It's almost like an original side skirt from factory, but you're going to hold it right up against it and position it just right. So the entire body, so I would say this entire side skirt has a curve to it, and this is a straight line, so that outside curve needs to match up right in the middle to this bent line. This is bent up, it's bent at about 9 degrees just to accommodate the underside of the car. Now you're going to hold it up and you're going to go ahead and line it up and get a buddy or friend to mark 9 holes underneath. He's got a short Sharpie in his hand, so we'll show you right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down. I'm using a couple of wood blocks here and pretty much some rags to hold it up and get it just where I want. But I'm going to come under here and I'm going to hold this exactly where I want, and I'll let you know, Andrew, when. Okay, go right ahead, Andrew. So he's gonna look up underneath and he's gonna mark those slots that are underneath the vehicle. Do a total of 9. And after he marks these, we're gonna go ahead and remove the side skirt. We're gonna lift the car, and then we're going to drill out 3/8 inch holes. And the reason why we're doing 3/8 is because we're installing well nuts. And I'll show you how a well nut works, but it's pretty much a nut that you install and tighten so you don't have to access the top side of the side skirt. As long as you install them all securely, this thing's going to be solid. So we'll show you right now. Alright, so after you mark the holes underneath the rocker panels using your Sharpie, you need to, for in our case, we took the car off the lift and then we used floor jacks to get it up. We're using a drill bit to drill out right in the center of those slots that we marked underneath. And I'm starting with a smaller drill bit and then moving my way upward. So this one specifically actually is for plastic, which is nice. It has a nice sharp point. This is a 5/16, but the holes need to be 3/8. And that's because the well nut that we insert is just under 3/8 in diameter, and you're going to insert it and tighten it later. But for now, along those 9 holes on each side, the 9 spots, you need to drill 3/8 inch holes. And I'll go ahead and start doing so. Alright, so before we install our side skirts, you have an option to install these fins. They're a little dirty, so don't mind that, but these fins mount to the edge of this part. There's actually pre-drilled holes on the bottom of the side skirt. So if you turn over your side skirt, as you can see here, there are pretty much slightly countersunk dimples, and this is the back side of the vehicle. And so you can see that when you go to mount this guy up, those dimples are going to match up with those holes. So you're going to drill these holes out and install the nuts and bolts we supply. Now it's completely optional. You don't have to install these, but you get to decide. So you can install the front, the back, or both, or none. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to drill out the 2 in the front for this really long fin that matches the OEM TRD rocker panel piece there. So as you can see, we've got a dimple here and a dimple there, and they're going to match up with this fin here. That's going to mount just like that. So what I'm going to do is, I have a 5/16 drill. You can also use a 1/4 inch, totally up to you. I'm going to center it right in the center of that dimple and just drill straight down. Okay, let me adjust that. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to slide this piece a little bit and do the same thing at the front. Now feel free, if you do have any burrs or anything on there, to clean them off. You can blow this off, whatever you want to do. Now you can turn it back over and actually install that long fin. So to do so, you're going to take this fin, you're going to hold it up underneath. I always install underneath. And you're going to push a bolt from the top with a washer. So here is a countersunk black washer. You're going to insert your 1/4 inch bolt through. That's got an Allen head on it. It's a 5/32. You're going to insert it down from the top on both the front and the back hole. Then you can take this guy, lay it underneath, line it up with those bolts, and tighten a nut onto it. And that nut is a 7/16 head. It's a 1/4 inch bolt. You're going to do it on this front hole and the back hole as well. To tighten it, I would say definitely don't overdo it. So take your drill, adjust it to whatever you need to, take it off the drill function, maybe put it on a real low torque setting if you're not going to do it by hand. I'm going to stick a 7/16 inch socket on there. I only got it at 5. I'm going to slow down the speed a little bit. And then I'm going to stick this on the top, like so. You know what? I'm going to start on the end here. So we'll start on this guy. Insert that in, and then I'm going to tighten it from the bottom. Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing right over here. After I find my socket, here we go. Do it right here. Perfect. So that's the fin. Feel free to do the same thing on the front or the back. So this one's the front actually, and feel free to do the same thing on the back. It's as simple as that for the fins, and then after this we're going to just install it on the vehicle. Alright, so we're back and we're installing our side skirt on the TRD. Now the side skirt can just be installed by holding it up against the vehicle and installing these bolts. These are 1032 bolts. They're 1.5 inches long, and these are well nuts. Now these well nuts expand like a mushroom on the inside of the rocker panel. So you're gonna kind of pre-assemble it like this. You're gonna do a bolt, a washer, and then you're gonna thread this guy all the way down to the bottom until it touches the washer. You're gonna insert it through the side skirt, through the rocker panel, and then tighten it. Now just tighten it until it feels real good, like a nice firm snug. No need to over tighten it. Just like I said, it's gonna collapse and squish down and get sandwiched between this washer, the side skirt, and the top of the rocker panel. Now I'm gonna insert it into one of the holes. We already put in 3 just to make things easier to show you, but this is gonna go on up underneath into one of the holes on the underside, and then into a 3/8 inch hole that we drilled, just like that, all the way up inside. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's right there. Then I'm gonna get my socket and I'm gonna snug it up just by hand, and I'm gonna do them all just by hand because the whole side skirt can actually move in and out just a little bit if you drilled your holes right in the center of the slots. It gives us a little play. So that feels snug, and I'm going to move on to the next one. But after doing so, after doing all 9 on one side, I would adjust your side skirt as you like, and then come back and tighten her up with a 5/16 socket. I just stick this on the end of a wrench. You're also welcome to, some people put it on the end of like an air socket or an air ratchet. It's kind of scary doing that, but I just because it cinches down real hard, so I would definitely recommend just doing it all by hand. It feels the best. Alright, so once you've gotten all your bolts and everything situated inside the holes here, you tighten them with your 5/16. You're golden. Just make sure everything's secure, and just make sure you repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. You're good to go.